Anything that's negative, we're going to say most lawyers.
Do you want to know what can help you really scale your law firm? What can help you know what you need to do when it comes to your marketing? What media to buy, what message, what avatar to target? It's having a CMO. And we've got a pretty awesome opportunity here. They don't know I'm going to do this, but we've actually got 5 CMOs sitting outside having lunch together here at Arjon's house. And so I'm going to tell them that we're going to go live. And so here we go.
Believe it or not,
It's going to be an awesome opportunity
believe it or
to
not, as crazy
hear
as
what
you
we're
sometimes
working
might
on
think
for our
they are,
members to help them grow
you gotta- I keep in
and
mind,
scale
like,
and provide even more value.
it's not like
help
we
them
went out
grow
and
even
found
faster.
the craziest people we could find. I mean, they're like a pretty reasonable approximation for Will.
We're going live.
Why?
Well, because we're talking about some
We're fucking
great
tired.
stuff
Jeez.
that I think would be valuable to the members. Arjon, you told me to tell you that we need to go more live more often.
I heard
Nudge
it.
you.
You
Let me
did.
do this.
Now?
Now, as you're stuffing your face.
You should have waited for me to have food in my mouth. See, this is where you fucked up. You should have waited for me to have food in my mouth, and then I wouldn't have been able to object.
Because he has no dressing, and that's gonna, it's gonna be hard to chew.
My first fucking day of keto, thanks to you 2 assholes. And now you're gonna make me okay. All right. Please continue.
So, Brian, you were telling me how typical lawyers struggle with their marketing, and I would like to know why our members are different than the typical lawyer that doesn't struggle with marketing.
Oh, they got us.
Look,
Oh,
as much
well,
as,
they
look,
come
come on.
in.
Look,
But
as much as you see some of our members making some really bonehead mistakes with their marketing, as much as they fall for some really dumb shit from marketing vendor scumbag condos, as much as they tolerate and put up with so much shit from so many shitty marketing vendors and shitty marketing employees, as much as they put up with and tolerate, it's not like we went out and found a group of 500 law firm owners who are worse than the average law firm owner.
Mhm.
Our 500 members are heads and shoulders better than the average small law firm owner out there.
Absolutely.
The average small law firm owner out there doesn't even know. They're not even thinking about the kinds of things that our members are thinking about. They're not even open to the kinds of things our members are open to. They're not even considering or willing to consider, in most cases, the kinds of things our members are embracing. We just see so deep into what's going on with some of these fucking vendors and some of these marketing employees that you it's easy to believe that the grass is greener over there, but believe me, the grass is greener over here. It really is.
Well, for starters, we've got a plan. Most of the members have a solid business plan, so we have targets going in for marketing.
99% of there's like 1,500,000 lawyers in the United States. Of the roughly 1,500,000 lawyers in the United States, roughly 60% of them are in firms of 5 lawyers or fewer. That's like 700,000-ish firms of 5 lawyers or fewer. If you take 700,000 divided by 5, how much is that? 335,000? I can't do the math.
5 by 5.
1,500,000. She's got a calculator. 1,500,000 law firms.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? 1,500,000 lawyers in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly 60% of them are working in firms of 5 lawyers or fewer.
900.
That's 900,000. There's roughly 900,000 lawyers in the United States, which isn't that many if you divide it by all the counties, all the states, all the counties. It's not really that many. There's roughly 3,000 counties in the country. So 900,000 divided by roughly 3,000 counties is how many lawyers per county.
That should be easy.
300.
roughly 300 lawyers per county, and divided by family law, bankruptcy, immigration, criminal defense, personal injury, corporate, real estate, intellectual property. What am I forgetting?
Bankruptcy in
I
there?
already said bankruptcy,
Should have state plan.
estate planning. I didn't say estate planning. Let's just say
10.
let's say 12 major practice areas, right?
Mhm.
And that's how many?
25.
That's 25. That's only 25 law firms or lawyers per practice area per county. I mean,
More or less,
mathematically
yeah.
speaking, I mean, it's a blended average, right? And it's probably more like 10. That's in the firms of 5 lawyers and fewer, right? Now you take the 900,000. Get your calculator, please. You take the 900,000, roughly 900,000 lawyers working in firms of 5 lawyers and fewer, right? And half of them are true solos.
Mhm.
So 250,000 true solo. I am the only lawyer in my own law firm, which is roughly 450,000 true. I am the only lawyer in my law firm in the entire country. Only 450. That's not that many. Now take the other 450, yeah,
Yeah.
and divide it by 5,
Mhm.
because there's firms of 5 lawyers and fewer.
Right, so we're at 90.
Yeah.
We're at how much?
90,000.
90,000. So there's roughly 90,000 firms of 5 lawyers and fewer. 90,000 firms that have 2 to 5 lawyers. Call it 100,000 firms with 2 to 5 lawyers. Roughly 400,000 firms of true solo. And then that's 900,000. I'm sorry, that's 1,000,005
550.
times 0.40
Mhm.
is 600,000 for lawyers in firms of 5 lawyers, of 6 or more lawyers. And like 15% of the total 1,000,005 are working corporate, and roughly 7% are working for the government. The point I'm trying to make is like, I mean, most of the people who are running $1 million, $5 million, even $10 million small law firms, because it's still a small law firm at $10 million.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, right?
Mhm.
Mid-size goes to $100 million. If you've got a $10 million law firm that has a full-time CEO, a full-time COO, a full-time CFO, a full-time CMO, where the owners can predict profitability within plus or minus 5%, 12 months in advance, and they can be away for 30 days away with emergency access only. And you got a $10 million firm that meets that criteria, you are the skinniest, smallest, teeniest, tiniest, brand new freshman on campus, because that campus goes to $100 million.
Mhm.
So anyway, the point I'm making is most of these small law firms, they don't even have a business plan. They don't even have the beginnings of financial controls.
Right.
They don't even have
Well, as far as we're talking about marketing, they have nothing when they come in. I mean,
Well, when they work-
absolutely nothing.
Okay,
They
so let me
have
ask
no
you
idea
that.
who they get referrals from. They have no idea who their avatar is.
They aren't shown how to run the business if they work at a big firm, because then they'll leave and start their own.
Yeah.
right, but let's talk about
When they
what.
don't learn in
what-
law school.
Let me ask you, what are like when we take on a brand new law firm into our CMO program, right? Prerequisites are got to have what would we
You have to
Marketing
have
staff,
full-time-
full-time.
at least
full-time,
one
at least
full-time
one.
dedicated marketing person
Mhm.
who has a big financial compensation bonus tied to the
Marketing.
profitability,
Mhm.
the ROI on the marketing dollars spent,
Right.
Yes.
right?
Yep, that's
Which
right.
is why it's so fucking ridiculous when like, I can't afford a full-time person. How can you not afford a full-time person who's got a big financial vested interest? Well, the way you could not afford a full-time dedicated person to help you with the marketing, who has a vested financial interest in the success of the marketing, is of course if you don't have a chief marketing officer to manage and direct and keep everyone accountable,
Mhm.
right? Anyway, so my question is that I was asking before is, what are like some of the most common? How do you find them? Like I want to hear like some of your before and after stories, right? They come in and they got this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem, and these problems are causing these other problems and other problems and other problems, and those problems are leading to these deeper and deeper and deeper problems. You get where I'm going with these questions, right? Like, how do you find these people? Like, I don't mean how do you find them from a marketing standpoint, but like, what condition are they in when they come to you? I'm now going to stuff my face. Someone
One of the
For us,
symptoms is they're having kind of fits and starts with how many leads are coming in. So we're trying to get the leads consistent.
So what's the first thing we do with them when they come in?
Like how
No.
What is it?
What state are they in? I mean,
I just want to know. I want to hear from you. What state do you find them in? No, Jennifer, start.
okay, go ahead.
What state do you find them in?
So they're either not having enough leads, so they're struggling financially. And that's a deep pain point.
They don't have enough leads, or the leads aren't consistent enough, or the leads are coming in consistently and they're just shit leads. I mean, be more specific.
All three of those scenarios we find them in. So yeah, it could be that we've got, a scarcity problem where we don't have enough leads and we've got to increase the leads. It could be that we don't have, thank you. We've got like uncertainty where they're coming from. So we got fits and starts, which we got spurts of leads
And
coming
what does
in.
that
And then
cause?
we have
What does that lead to?
inconsistent hiring, not knowing when to hire, or we've got confused capacity or inconsistent billing because production's not fed consistently. That's probably one of the worst problems.
Or they're afraid to hire, and because they're
they
afraid
can't
to
rely
hire,
on it.
what?
Because they can't rely on the leads.
So they're
coming in,
afraid to
they're
hire,
afraid.
and because they're afraid to hire, the
Mhm.
staff gets burned out
Mhm.
and then quits, and then they have more capacity problems.
Mhm.
What else?
Or they have a lot of leads coming in and they're churn and burning the sales team because the leads are crap. And they don't have a way to set the vendor up with clarity on who they want to be attracting, and we don't have a good attraction cycle to get people coming in. Qualified leads.
And what problem does all of this lead to?
Well, it burns out the sales team for sure. And then we don't have enough production because the leads are not quality. So we're not getting matters through the door.
And then what?
And then we don't have a firm that's growing. We've got, a scaling problem.
But before then what?
And then we run out of money.
And then what?
And then what?
It's not a quiz. I'm asking you from personal experience, what do you see happening in the real lives of the mothers and the fathers and the sisters? And these are human beings. What do you see going on in the lives of these human beings? Tell me about the life of the human being. I don't want to hear another fucking word about the firm. Tell me about the human being, what's going on in their relationships that's being caused by the law firm.
Yeah, they're having a really hard time. They're stressed out. Their family's stressed out.
Which leads to what? Tell me more.
Like it leads to the health problems,
Like?
families breaking apart, like cancer, like
How does
heart
bad
attacks,
marketing? Hold on. There's going to be some law firm owner out there who we're going to talk to.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got something stuck in my teeth. There's going to be some law firm owner out there. And we're going to put a marketing message in front of this law firm owner. It's going to basically say, having a chief marketing officer will reduce the chances that you will come down with cancer.
a heart attack, high blood pressure,
Let's
divorce,
stick with cancer. Pick one. What's it going to be? Heart attack, cancer, or divorce?
heart attack.
You want to go with heart attack, not cancer, not divorce.
Divorce is probably more likely.
Pick one.
Divorce.
Divorce. So we're going to do a marketing campaign. Having a chief marketing officer for your law firm will help you avoid getting divorced. Will reduce the chances of you getting divorced.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's going to be some lawyer who's going to see that. And how do you imagine that they're going to respond to that message?
Bullshit.
They're going to say, fuck you. They say, what the fuck are you talking about? Right? Except they're not going to be polite as that. They won't be as polite as me. You get what they're really going to do? what they're really going to do is they're going to start talking so much shit about you behind your back. They're going to make up lies. They're going to dredge up they're going to go fucking trolling the internet for every fucking mistake you've ever made in your whole life. And they're going to put it all over the internet to say, Jen Dudley said that I would be more likely to get divorced if I don't have a chief marketing officer for my law firm. And because I'm afraid to hire a chief marketing officer for my law firm, and on some level deep down inside, I know that this is causing stress in my marriage. And I don't have the emotional courage or strength to fucking face up to the reality of what I'm doing to my family with my bullshit. Rather than dealing with any of this stuff, it's easier to say, you shouldn't listen to Jen Dudley because that bitch has braces. Who the fuck's got braces as an adult? What the fuck is wrong with you, lady? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with this lady? You got braces and you wear big jewelry. And what the fuck is wrong with you? And this is what they're going to say about you publicly in order to divert attention. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
To divert attention from the truths
of the
that
message.
you're walking them up to. And so I want you to get in the habit of being prepared to really make the case. And you've seen it dozens and dozens of times. I mean, how many lawyers have you seen get divorced because their marketing sucks? How many lawyers have you seen
alcoholism? I've got specific alcohol, and they were at that stage.
I've now primed the pump. Go. I'm going to eat. Start talking.
I can talk now.
I would like to eat. I would like for you all to carry this conversation.
Come on, Arjon Story Hour.
Arjon eating hour. Go.
So what are we on now? What other? Do we keep on the same thing? Things that we've seen when they come to us, or
why was that member going to
what kind of fucking shit show do you find people in?
Okay,
after years of neglect and years of avoiding it and accepting all their bullshit from their marketing vendors and making one fucking excuse after the next about why. Oh, I really like this marketing assistant because she's so nice and she's so smart and she's so great. Really? She's never studied marketing in her life. She's never done a shit of marketing in her life. She has no key performance indicators. She has no metrics. You're not tracking anything. And the only thing is she knows how to work fucking
Excel.
She knows how to Photoshop flyers and you don't. So now you've now crowned her the marketing manager.
Photoshop would be nice. It's Canva and Excel, and that's why we have them as our marketing lead. No, seriously. We're going back to what you were just saying before. It kind of brought up something different. I see them when they come in. A lot of times they're spinning plates. They've got it where things are balanced. If you just look at numbers, probably okay. But they're spinning plates. Everything is just barely hanging together, and one little thing can bring the whole house of cards down. I've run into that several times, and they know that, they admit that is the way it really is, and this one thing I'm thinking of, they were becoming an alcoholic over the 6 months or so before I started working with them.
Keep talking.
So, I guess I would love to know how. What's the difference between a typical attorney that comes in with someone that has a vested interest and financial interest in the marketing versus someone who's not?
Spray and pray. The second one is that's basically what they're doing. They're trying this and then let's try that and then we run out of ideas. So let's hope that this thing works.
They're not really committed. Listen,
because there's not a plan.
They're not because there's no belief that they're ever going to accomplish anything. They don't actually believe that they're going to accomplish any of the goals that they talk about. And because they don't actually believe that they're going to accomplish any of the goals that they talk about, they just talk about their goals because it makes them popular in cocktail parties or something, right? And so it's easy to flitter around like, oh, let's try this for 6 weeks. Oh, I'm bored with that. Oh, let's go try that for a month. Oh, I'm bored with that. Oh, let's try this for 2 weeks. Oh, I'm bored with that. It's like if you're not gonna let's talk paper newsletters, right? If you're not gonna do a paper newsletter for at least 6 months, don't bother trying because it's not gonna work. Because paper newsletters don't work until the 6th month. Anyone here know why, by the way, paper newsletters don't work until the 6th month? Paper newsletters basically never work until the 6th month, and they usually start to work if they're done right around the 6th month. Anyone know why?
Mm-mm.
I'd be guessing.
Hmm?
I'd be guessing.
I would be guessing too. I don't know why they don't work until the 6th month. And I don't know why, if they're done right, they generally start to work in the 6th month. I don't fucking know
I
why.
just do.
But what I know is that I've been doing this since fucking 1999, and they don't work until the 6th month. And around the 6th month, they start to work. And if you're not going to have 6 months, don't bother starting. Don't bother starting it if you're not going to be committed to finishing it.
I do that with my members on the LinkedIn Lives for referral partners. It's 3 months. And I say, just trust the process for 3 months. 3rd month it'll work. If not,
But why?
don't.
Why?
I have no idea. It's just what it is. I've seen it several times, and that's just what it is.
But if I can ask why, then I can avoid having to take any action.
Ah.
Mhm.
Ah.
Well, that's the other big thing.
I'm gonna
advocating.
analyze this as an avoidance
Dude,
technique.
they can hear that, right? That was really good. I mean, that one little sentence right there was really good. That was a good one. That because I've known that, but I've never thought about it.
Say it
that
again,
way.
because I don't remember what I just said.
It was I had to get it out the right way. Was that they're when they ask that, it's to try to find a way to avoid it or to change it
They
change it
ask
up.
why. They're analyzing it
From
as an
why.
avoidance technique.
Yeah,
That was it. They analyze
that's
it as an
fucking
avoidance technique.
genius. That's really
Like the,
I
iteration.
cannot wait to call somebody out on that now.
Okay, so
That's
You're,
great. It's
you're
really
gonna love it when
good.
they say, "I need to figure out
Why?
why," and I'm going to
Why?
ask AI.
Why?
That's the next part of it, and then
Yeah.
use
you know,
that.
you know how I shut that down?
I do not know.
I'll tell you exactly how I shut this down. They start saying, but why, but how, but I need to understand. And I say, let me ask you a question. You got children? I'll role play with you. You got children?
I do.
You ever take them to the doctor?
I do.
Doctor ever give them a prescription?
Yes,
You give the prescription to the pharmacist.
I do.
Pharmacist gives you the medicine back.
Yep.
You give the medicine to your child.
Yep.
The person you love more than anyone else in the world, the person you would kill or die for. Do you know why the medicine works?
Nope.
No.
And I don't test it or check it either. I just give it to them.
Okay. These children, you drive them in your car.
I do.
You know why the anti-lock brake system works? Do you know how the anti-lock brake system works?
No.
You put them on airplanes with pilots who you've never met. Do you understand what makes the airplane fly? No.
No.
There's hundreds of things that you put your life on the line for. You put the lives of your children on the line for, and you don't have the first fucking clue how any of it works. So don't tell me you need to know all this shit about this little marketing thing that I just want you to test $5,000. Just fucking try it.
Yep.
And then
No.
if it works, you don't need to know how it works because it works. If you insist that you need to know how it works before you'll test it, first go tell me what's in the medicine you give your children and why that works. Then tell me how the anti-lock brake system works on the car that you put your children in. Then tell me how the fucking airplane. Tell me how everything in your life works that you depend on for your fucking life before you tell me you're going to spend $25,000 of your fucking time trying to figure out how to save $1,000 on a fucking test. It's avoidance.
100%.
They're using their big analytic brains to figure out how to complicate the shit out of something so they can avoid just the courageous leap of trying it.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
the bravery of asking for help.
Yeah. It's good.
All right. What's next? Well, we were supposed to, we had an agenda. What was the agenda? We were going to come up with a list
Oh, the
of
resources.
Yeah, the
Resource.
resources
Good.
for members.
courses you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 amazing chief marketing officers, plus me and Justin. 6. Come up with, 24. Come up with 24 resources that you want to be able to share with your members. And each of you take 6. And by the end of the year, we'll have these 24 resources. If you got to make them, if you got to buy them, if you got to build them, if you got to scrape them out of some lesson that we've taught, whatever. Justin, will you be the scribe?
Sure. Hopefully someone says lead tracker.
Lead tracker.
Marketing calculator is another one. but-
Mhm.
Like, just because you call it doesn't mean you have to do it.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just brainstorm right now to get it
Yeah.
out. So lead tracker. So what is that?
It's a way for them to keep track of all the leads that are coming in so that the lead flow is not the excuse, it's follow up the sales.
Mhm.
Job descriptions with KPIs.
Can I just stick on lead tracker for a minute?
Of course.
Can we be more specific and call it a low tech, no tech lead tracker?
Sure.
Like,
It's basically a low tech, no tech CRM. That's all a lead tracker is.
look, when I was starting how to manage, I used literally a piece of paper and a pencil.
Mhm.
I didn't even use a pen. I used a pencil because I had the eraser, and that was how I track leads. So low tech, no tech lead tracker. Low tech, no excuses, high profit, lots of visibility lead tracker. I would like to call it that.
Okay. We'll find an abbreviation for that.
No abbreviation.
No
It's
abbreviation?
called the low tech, no excuses, high visibility, very profitable lead tracker.
All right. I got that.
All right, that's one. Two. Who else wants what?
Job descriptions with KPIs.
Job descriptions with KPIs for what position? Sample job description for
Marketing coordinator, marketing manager, at least.
sample job description for marketing coordinator,
Mhm.
marketing
Manager.
manager. Can I say with minimum qualifications?
Yes.
And by minimum qualifications, I don't mean education.
Mhm.
And I don't mean former employment.
Mhm.
I mean, at a minimum, they must be able to demonstrate that they're able to do this and 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 able to do this with like a quiz. And like, before you come and tell me that you're, I don't know, paralegal
Mhm.
or legal secretary or niece or cousin's neighbor's friend is now going to be, or virtual person who you never met is now going to be your new marketing coordinator. Let's give them this simple little test and see if they can pass the test or not.
Mhm.
Even if they're smart enough to give it to AI and use AI to give you the answers, at least that tells you something. And then you can use it to ask them questions about, well, why did you do this? And why did you do that? And what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And then even if they use AI to cheat their way through it, you start asking them to talk about it and like, they fall apart. All right, got that one? All right.
With minimum qualifications.
Well, but not minimum qualifications, with qualifying questions.
Qualifying questions. Okay.
Qualifying questions or a practical test for them to do. Like a way for them to prove to you that they're worthy of having a conversation. These lawyers, they bill $500 an hour and they'll spend 5,000, 10,000 hours worth of time interviewing people who are obviously unqualified.
Mhm.
And then they'll spend another 5,000 or 10,000 hours of their time trying to jerk around with this unqualified person. And then they pay the person another $5,000 or $10,000 and the $30,000 to $50,000 in the hole before they listen to us when we say this person is wildly unqualified. You never should have even bothered to interview them in the first place, but they don't know.
Mhm.
All right, 3.
Got it.
So-
Oh, go ahead, Jim.
Oh, go ahead.
A vendor hiring guide,
Don't
like
be,
what?
don't be polite here. I understand this is only your 3rd month here, but like you got to start like throwing some elbows.
All right.
To get a word in edgewise with this
With
group.
this group, indeed, yes. No, a vendor hiring guide, just with so many of the members that I talk to, they're not confident in what questions to ask, and they don't know what the red lights and green lights are when they get information back from the vendors. So just some simple checklists of here are the things to ask if it's a PPC or an SEO vendor, that they can just have more confidence knowing they're asking the right questions, they're hearing the right answers, to feel a little bit better about those conversations and to set themselves up for success with expectations.
Could we also include not just the questions to ask, but examples of the kinds of answers that you should be looking for examples of the kinds of questions you should be looking out for.
Definitely.
What are some of the kinds of questions you have in mind, just so I have an idea what you have in mind?
Just asking how often they report back. What are the metrics that they report back? Are they just going to give you traffic numbers? Or are they going to give you more detailed numbers? Asking about experience, getting references, just really getting in deep where the member might not know to answer those questions.
You know how many lawyers I've spoken to over the years? Our members don't ask this question, but I've when I was on the National CLE speaking tour, I went around the country, I spoke with thousands and thousands and thousands of lawyers. And I can't tell you how many people stood up and literally said, okay, it's not hundreds, it was at least 10 people, and 10 is a shocking number when you hear what I'm about to say. At least 10 licensed attorneys, grown-ups, adults, who presumably are in charge of children and in charge of trust accounts, right, have said to me, am I allowed to ask for that? Are you allowed to? It's like, are you? They literally ask, am I allowed to ask for those reports from a marketing vendor? As if they live in a world of constrictive, confining rules. Now listen, they live in a world of confining rules. Their mind. You ever seen a square hard-boiled egg?
No.
There is a square watermelon. Same idea. If you take this watermelon and you grow it inside of a square container, it will turn into a square watermelon. Same thing if you take a hard-boiled egg and you boil it and you put it in a square thing, it turns into a square hard-boiled egg.
Yeah. All right, cool. Learning something here.
I was at a dinner party once, and like for fun, they took out this thing and they passed it around, and like we all sat around for 30 minutes like debating what this thing was, and like no one could figure out what it was. And then they showed us, like, oh my God, who knew you make square hard-boiled eggs?
I'm doing that.
Anyway, the point is, lawyers spend so much of their time living inside of boxes with rules and regulations and statutes and fines and penalties, right?
Just scared to step out of the comfort of the rules. Right?
I'm trying to think of the exact quote.
Oh,
I'm trying to think of the exact
I
quote.
apologize, everybody.
No, you shouldn't apologize. You're going to get the
I
quote.
don't apologize.
How's the quote go? I spent 30 years.
You're going to sing, aren't you?
Huh?
You're about to sing, aren't you?
No. Can I see your phone for a second?
Yeah.
I think do a Google search.
There you go.
While you're searching, one of the questions that I love to ask the vendors is, we're going to provide you with a target for qualified leads. Are you willing to be accountable to a number of qualified leads per month, per quarter, for the year? And if we're not on track, what's your plan? What's your plan to get there? And what's your plan to pivot?
One thing I have them ask.
40 years I've been asking permission to piss. I can't squeeze the drop without say so. You have to know this quote.
I do. Don't
Of course
say
you
it.
do.
I know. I've seen the movie.
You've seen the movie. You know the voice.
Is it the prison one?
Yes,
with Mark
yes,
Freeman
right?
and,
Yes, you got it.
Redemption?
There you
There you
go.
go.
40 years I've been asking judges for permission to think. Now I can't think without the say so. And then they stand up and they say, am I allowed to ask a marketing vendor for that report? Am I allowed to? Fuck yeah, they work for you. Of course you're allowed to. You can ask them anything you want. They're free to say no. And then you're free to say you're fired. Or better yet, you're not hired. Please continue.
I mean, Deanna,
When he referred
Oh, yeah,
you, did he tell you that we were this cool?
Yes.
Okay, good.
He told me exactly what
So you knew you were getting yourself into.
I did indeed,
All right.
yes.
when you said your thing, it made me wonder, like, they don't even know, why do they even need a chief marketing officer? Why is a chief marketing officer useful for a typical lawyer, and why do our members actually get value out of it?
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about a member call that I was on last week, and we actually had a meeting with their SEO vendor who is not performing. They're not meeting expectations. They're not hitting the deliverables. And the call with the vendor, they just didn't seem to care. They really didn't have any good excuses. They're like, we're just going to keep doing more of the same. And here's what you need to do. You need to do more sharing. You need to do more LinkedIn. You need to do those things to support what the vendor was doing. And
The vendor is saying
the
this.
vendor is telling
So
the
the
member.
SEO vendor is saying, so the SEO vendor is saying the reason we're not getting the SEO juice for your website is because you need to go out and do more networking and do more
You need to
marketing.
do more
You
SEO.
need to
More
share more of the
you need to
content
do
we
more
create.
organic social, which is what we're supposed to be doing for you.
Yes. And the members hearing this, they're furious, but they're being polite. They're maybe not pushing back. And so then we had a call afterwards, the member and I, and it's like, this is not acceptable. And we really talked through it. And there was some pushback in the call as well, but helping them understand this is what you should be expecting. This is what we're going to hold them accountable for. And also being planful for, we're probably going to be firing this vendor. And here's what we need to do to get ready for that. And here's what we should expect to spend so that we can get that process, at least to start thinking about it so we can be ready when the time is there.
Yeah.
But they were uncomfortable.
It's like we
pushing
got to
back.
call it like CMO program, which is called the anti-gaslighting prevention.
Yeah.
Like these vendors, they gaslight the shit out of you, and the members, like the law firm owners, they don't know better. Because look, like in fairness, I don't know better either. I would be gaslit by my marketing vendors all day long if I didn't have a director of acquisitions who can tell me, no, that's bullshit. Like when Will first came in, he's like, listen, my predecessor had you believing some shit that is not real.
Mhm.
He cleaned house. And by cleaned house, I mean fired a bunch of motherfuckers. Except one. Yeah.
I know you looked at me when you did that, but it's not me. So
No, because he's the one that gets the inside joke.
yeah.
Funny thing is, you don't even know what the inside joke is. And you're all laughing because you don't know what the inside joke is.
No, no.
Will, you're looking at me crazy, but no one knows the joke.
Okay.
Well, we know the joke. So that's
Yes.
again, I wasn't. Yeah.
Resources. What are resources? So what did we say so far?
We have the low tech, no excuses, high visibility, very profitable tracker, job descriptions, vendor hiring guide. What's next?
We've got through 3.
That's 3. Yeah.
I'm about done with my lunch, so we got to hurry.
So to build on that, also how to look for a vendor and how to put together an RFP and how to assess and vet them, apples to apples, to pick somebody who's really aligned with what you need and can deliver results.
What's an RFP?
A request for proposal. And the other thing that ties with that is the channel by channel strategy. So we've got templates to take the business goals from a business plan and break it down into monthly and by channel so we can give the vendor some targets and make sure that we've got something to hold people accountable to.
So a business plan to marketing plan
Mhm.
translator.
Well, yeah, it's the marketing strategy and metrics.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, I'm done with lunch. We got to get back to it, and I can be in the car at 4.
All right.
Anything else?
Well, we can work. with
Editorial
it.
calendar.
Yeah, we've got ones. that-
Editorial calendar. So
Content
just quick.
calendar.
Let's just
Yeah.
do quick.
It's just a bunch of
RFP
those.
for your CRMs.
Newsletters.
What
RFP
does
for your
our-
CRM.
What does our
How to do
CRM
newsletter.
How to respond to bad reviews on Google.
How to respond to good, bad reviews on Google. That's a good one.
We've got a Bible of prompts.
How to ask for reviews.
How to ask
How
for
to ask
reviews.
reviews.
You got a whole library of AI
Got a
prompts
ton of prompts.
to do what?
A big one right now is rewriting your site so the LMs can take it in and quote from it and recommend you more. That's what we're doing right now a lot.
Okay.
Glide paths. How to build glide paths.
How to write AI to write your glide paths.
How to set up a
Content calendar.
compensation structure
Yeah.
so that you don't violate bar rules, but you can still give people a financial
Yeah.
incentive to actually do their job and close sales and give new clients good service. Onboarding new clients in a way that sets up the referral down the road.
Mhm.
Uh,
Referral program tools. A
referral
lot of
program
those.
tools, how to trigger more referrals,
Mhm.
how to instigate more referrals. How many is that?
12 and a half.
How to successfully run webinars and seminars.
We can do a whole thing on how to do webinars and seminars.
I mean, the before and after, so.
Right. How to stand up a CLE workshop that you bring other lawyers to who should be referring business to your practice area, right? Instead of keep going to CLE workshops full of lawyers to do the same thing you do, stand up your own CLE workshop, and like our members, like we'll even send any of our advisors to deliver content and teach a workshop for our members, that our members can invite lawyers who should be referring business to them to the workshop. That's a really good one.
It's like a 4-in-1.
Power lunches, how to do power lunches. How to get referrals by being better at giving referrals. I mean, holy shit, it's so easy to give referrals. It's so simple to give referrals. You give the coupon example yesterday at dinner. That was a good one. It's so just so many little things that
That's what they're all these little.
these are all like really simple little lifts. And like when they say, well, I can't afford to hire someone to do these things. It's like if you had one person, one full-time, let's just say you had an average case value. Jen, could you do the math for me, please, or someone? Let's just say you had an average case value of
$5,000.
$5,000. You had an average case value of $5,000. And let's say your cost of goods sold on the $5,000 case is, let's say, 1/3. So what is that, $1,500? Is that right?
A little more.
A third of 5,000 is how much?
1667.
1667. All right. And that means your gross profit is how much? Roughly $3,500.
33.
Fine. Your gross profit is called $3,000. And like you hire someone for $75,000 a year. $75,000 a year times 1.2 for benefits is, was that 90,000 a year? 90,000 a year divided by $3,000 gross profit per case is, what is that? 30 divided by 12 months is less than 3,
Yeah.
2.5. So this person has got to be able to produce 2.5 cases a month
To pay for themselves.
to break even,
Yeah.
right? I mean, holy shit, 2.5 cases to break even,
That's gas calls.
2.5
alone.
cases a month to
Easy.
break even. They ought to be able to produce at least 20 cases a month.
Right,
If they do
10x
20
that.
cases a month, hold on, 20 cases a month at $3,000 gross profit is $60,000 a month minus, how much did I say I'm paying them? Minus
$75.
$6,000 a month to pay them. Throw in another $3,000 for bonuses, right? So now if they're going to do 20 cases a month, if this person can produce 20 new cases a month, you can attribute 20 new cases a month to them,
$100,000 a month.
which they can do using like even just 3 of the things we talked about. And the first 2 cases pays their base salary. The third case is their bonus. That's 17 cases just for you. 17 cases for you at $3,000 a case is $50,000 a month of gross profit. That's $600,000 a year of gross profit. That's $75,000 employee who's going to actually make more like 100 with bonuses. So 120 gives you $600,000 in profit. No, I can't afford that. I mean,
Can't afford 4X.
you can't afford to have 400% profit. I mean, well, that's why they need a chief marketing officer to help them
do.
not just plan it and think about it, but
Present it like you just presented.
well, and also to do the month in, month out, month in, month out, month in, month out, quarter by quarter by quarter, year after year after year of just managing this thing to make sure it gets done.
Yeah,
And
and you didn't
making
put-
little tweaks as it moves along because things will pop up. So they need somebody that's, we've seen this so many times. We can see something coming a month out also and
Well,
point
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean,
bit different
you're going to
direction.
fire somebody who's giving you
There-
bad
there you
reports.
go. Yeah, right there. It's a perfect example.
And we didn't take in the opportunity cost of that attorney being frustrated and trimming their time trying to deal with the stuff that a coordinator should be.
And they end up divorced, which is how we started this whole conversation.
Yeah. But before they end up divorced, even worse.
Yes.
Good talk.